Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me. I did this on my own. You asking where we been, huh? I don't know where to begin, huh? All this dirt on my skin. I just came here to win. I'm more than a man, I'm a monster. Somebody call a pastor, doctor. I got a 6th sense for imposters. So now I'm coming for the whole roster. It's not a game, why you playing with me? You could double back, lose track, try and hang with me. It must be in my veins, something you can't tame, cause I break the chains. Can't control me. I got the power, I got the keys, cause I break the chains. They try to hold me, I'ma push back, just wait.
99% of the people in this world want to be great. Would you agree with that? Yeah, they're called wannabes. 1% work to be great. Drop the mic on that.
It was very casual. We were just kind of walking off the field, and he was like, "So what you gonna do?" I said, "I'm gonna come back next year." He was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'm excited. Let's go to Atlanta." And I was like, "Yes, sir. Let's make it happen."
Yeah, I didn't sign any mustard bottles or golf balls. Maybe wish I had had a golf ball that night, you know what I mean? But I'm only kidding. All right.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man, and I'm saying, woo, right here.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley.
What's up? I'm Dark Mode Dauber. Let's go.
What is happening?
And right now, you know, I'm Dark Mode X Factor in the building.
And I'm just Gabriel. I'm
Just
wearing
normal
dark
dude.
colors, but yeah, I don't have the dark mode gear, so you know, it is what it is.
Just a regular dude. You're just a
Yeah.
regular dude. It's
Just-
okay, man.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
There's nothing wrong with being a regular dude. Did you guys think the screen was glitching out? Like I got that clip from Vault Twitter,
Yeah.
and like it was this way. So like there was all this orange and white and I was like, I got to go dark mode. I got to go dark mode because Tennessee's going dark mode. It's freaking Kentucky week. All of a sudden, this fan base is freaking fired up. There's already 300 people watching. We just started the show. They announced dark mode, Dauber. All of a sudden, everybody goes nuts. Everybody's ready to go put a beating on Kentucky.
Man, it's exciting. I don't care. It's a gimmick, but what's not a gimmick is this offense and the way this team is playing right now.
Man, I was ready to run through a freaking brick wall when they announced that. I knew it was coming too. I was 100% certain they were wearing it, and I still was ready to freaking run through a wall when they released that video.
How insane did it look in that little tiny glimpse, man?
Oh my god. Oh, it's beautiful.
The funny thing is it got spoiled. Like it got spoiled like 30, 45 minutes before they announced it. So like Gabe just said, you knew it was coming, but still when you saw it, it's like, let's freaking go.
We've seen little teaser pictures. You know, we've seen a helmet here in the shadows lurking. You know, a practice field picture. I mean, we fully knew, but
God.
Yeah, like if there.
Became
I mean,
official today, so
well, like when we first seen the Smoky Grays, like we knew dark mode was coming. Like we knew they were gonna pull out both alternate uniforms. So
Mm-hmm.
I saw somebody on Twitter saying it was actually the uniform guy that we've talked about before on here said that he heard that dark mode's going away after this season. But who knows? Who knows what's true and who knows what's just rumor. Let's run down the chat. Let's see who is hanging out here bright and early, just a couple of minutes into the stream. It is a fan call-in show. We're going to get the link out to you guys here in just a second. The number one Negavol is in the house, dropping those custom Talkin VAWLS emojis, which I think's funny. He said he was going to change his name. When is he going to be the Sunshine Pumper Vol? Vols Deep 87, love the black uniforms. Joe Brown's in the house. What is up, Joe? Leah is here. Kelly Goodwin is in the house. What's up, Kelly? Zach Cherry is in the house as well. Good evening, Vol fans. What a wonderful day. One day closer to Tennessee putting a beating on Kentucky. Christopher Carter in the house. Good evening. Boogie Bentley. Come on. And cast and crew. We are a team. We're the four horsemen of Tennessee media, even though we're not media. My favorite night of the week. I really think it goes to just say how bad we are at doing this. This is like one of the most viewed shows outside of the post-game shows. I think the chat loves these fan call-in shows. Matt Mars is here. What's up, Matt? Joe Brown's in the house. Jamie Ford is here, back in black. Yeah, we could play some AC/DC if you want. Drummer Converse is here as well. Guys, come on in. Smash the thumbs up. Get it done early, and I won't have to repeat myself all night long, but I'll probably do that. That's what I like to do around here. And let me go up. Some of these super chats coming in. I don't want to miss any of those. What's up, Tim? Good to see you in the house, my man. Dropping those custom Talkin VAWLS emojis. You can get those and access to the fan call-in show by becoming a member of the channel. Hit the join button down below for as little as 99 cents a month. If you want to give a little bit more, you can. We would appreciate it. You get those custom Talkin VAWLS emojis as well as, like I said, access to this show. Coach Heupel's cough is in the house for $10. That ain't cheap. Dark mode engaged. Nightmare at Neyland is a go. Thank you, Coach Heupel's cough. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Nightmare at Neyland. Jonathan Boyd for 5. Two things. One, my account didn't renew. How do I renew it? Two, I think we are going to do the same thing to Kentucky that we did to LSU GBO. Let me address that real quick, Jonathan. I appreciate the super chat, but you do bring up a good point. I don't know what causes it, if it's a Google thing, if it's people's credit cards, what the deal is. If you become a member of this channel, some people will become non-members every month. And so I'll see a influx of people joining the channel and a whole bunch of people that exit the channel. And I get it. There's going to be some turnover there, but you may need to check every month. It may be one of those deals every month you got to go down, hit join, and rejoin the channel. Goat says, thinking about joining. Do I? Well, I think you should. And that brings me to this. Guys, I should have highlighted it, but now so many chats have come through. Fish and Beans is a member of this channel, been around for a long time. He was here before the show started, and he said these words: my wife has already cleared me to obligate. If we win the national championship, I am donating $10,000 to the channel.
In the world?
That has been approved by the wife. That has been approved by Fish and Beans, and it has been screen captured by Boogie Bentley. So stay tuned for that. But that's what you may need to do. Just check every month, Jonathan. That may be what you need to do. Ashby Wilson doesn't become a member of the channel. $5 super chat. Let's get her started. We are well underway. Thank you for the super chat. Stevie J for $20. That ain't cheap. Putting this out worldwide. 45-31. Tennessee beats Kentucky with authority. Go Vols. Thank you, Stevie J. We appreciate that. And I'm starting to go down that road. I was just telling Xavier right before we went live, I'm starting to believe it.
Hey, my boy. He said 31 points there. What do you think about that?
We'll get into that.
Can we make this official, though? We'll talk about it in a second, but can we make it official?
Well,
here's the deal. Here's the deal. If Kentucky scores 10 points or less, what does Dauber have to change his name to? Gabe's son?
I don't know. I
think it should just be Gabriel's son.
Maybe. I don't know. I've thought about it and I can't come up with anything creative. So we'll see. We'll see.
G Daddy's son.
Here's the thing. Because here's the thing about the game. I am aware that it could go any possible way. Like I've said before, Vegas is a thing. Blah blah blah. This Tennessee team is hard to predict. You don't know how many points they're going to give up. They might give up 50. They might give up 3. I don't know. It depends on them. It depends on how they play. So this could be a 24-10 game. This could be a 63-55 game. I don't know.
Dauber, you know what that sounds to me? You know what that sounds like to me?
That's some backpedaling.
No,
that's some backpedaling. Real quick backpedaling.
I'm still gonna do it. I'm just acknowledging. The fact.
It's a win for me if Kentucky scores less than 10 points. I'll be happy. Of course.
Yeah, I'm still into doing it. I'm just making it a fact that I'm aware that it is very likely Kentucky is going to score more than 10. Okay, but I'm going to stick with it. I'm sticking with it. I'm going to stick with it, and I'll go into that. We can go into that now. We can go into that later. Whenever it'll get brought up throughout the show, I'm sure. I just think it's a horrible matchup for Kentucky. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I don't know. I just thought I would not backtrack, but just sort of build a wall around me for just in preparation.
See, Gabe, you're gonna learn. We're gonna raise you up. You know, I know you're Dauber's son, but it takes a family, and me and Xavier are gonna help raise you up as well, and we'll teach you the ways of YouTube. When you make a statement, you ride it all the way to the cemetery. I mean, ride it to death, ride it into the grave. Because look, I've been saying forever how South Carolina is the scare. But I put out a video yesterday and said, Vols by 50, gonna destroy South Carolina. It's okay to change your mind. Let me say this. The link is out for members of the elite. That's anybody that gives $10 a month. You now have access to the link. It's on the community tab. You guys can join the show. And everybody that's a member, that's the way it works. We send the link out to the elite members first, and then we just kind of go down the list. And if we have time, we'll get all the way down to the 99 cents people, even though that's not listed in your membership tier. But we try to get everybody involved. Jacob Tabor becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate that, Jacob. Thank you for the support. Jody Wooten for 2. Got my dark mode Vols by 50 today. Love it. Nice. I love that people wear the black Talkin Vols shirts, and that represents dark mode. We have the smoky gray colored shirts. I love that. The only thing we don't have, which is a big problem for Bonfire, is orange. The orange doesn't match. So every time, like we've ordered it a couple of times to test it, and the orange doesn't match. So that's unfortunate. Stevie J with another $20. Oh, wait, it's the same thing, but that's a second super chat, Stevie J. We appreciate the two $20 super chats. Still going 45-21. Tennessee beats Kentucky with authority. Dan Yoder for 10. Don't care if unis are dark. Don't care if they're gray. Kentucky corner's going to pay. Vols by 50. Thank you, Dan. I love that. And you should go check out that Vols by 50 shirt we got over at Bonfire. Ashby Wilson for 2. Forecast for Saturday. High of 73. Feels like 98. I saw that had to be photoshopped, right? The one that was floating around that was not photoshopped.
It was not. I do not believe it was photoshopped. They said that
was on the game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was during the game. They just put that as like it's not just a funny little thing.
That's hilarious. I thought for sure somebody photoshopped it.
Nope.
Zach Fair got that Buck Fama hoodie today. Love it. 2 more super chats, then we got some listeners we're going to get on here. Dirty Dodge for 2, 54-21 Vols. I'll take it. That'll be a celebration. Logan Branham for 5. Stick with it. Vols by 50. It really is a bad matchup. Vols 50, Kentucky 10. Holy cow, that'll be a great celebration.
To you guys, and then we can kind of start with that. You guys think Tillman plays?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. I think they're keeping it coy, obviously, because they're not gonna. They want Kentucky to, Kentucky's gonna prepare for them either way. I think, but they're gonna keep it coy up until a couple hours before kickoff, when ESPN freaking probably, breaks down the door to the coaches' conference room and, puts guns to their heads to get all the info they just happen to.
I think most of it goes by warm-ups. They see how they actually warm up, and then that's when it leaks out and everybody knows.
Well,
let's get to,
and on top of that, real quick, I expect him to have a monster game. He's been waiting and waiting to see that field. I expect him to have a monster game.
I think – I hope he's 100%. I think he would have played last week. If the Kentucky game was last week, I'm not sold that he's 100%, and I'm definitely not sold that he's in game shape.
I don't want to see him if he's less than 85, 90%. I say save him for Georgia.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, if he's 85%, then like I said, there's no way he's in game shape, right? I mean that's the big thing. If he's 100%, he's 100%. We'll see. All right, let's get these listeners on here. We got Sean, we got Smoky Mountain Serps, we got Robert Tuck in the house, Bionic Clay, and Adam Johnson. What's up, fellas? Let's go around the room. Let's start in the order that you got up here on the screen. Smoky Mountain Serps, how you feeling about the announcement? Did it get spoiled? Did you see the Vol football announcement? What do you think?
I saw the announcement right after I got off work, and man, just super excited, repping the dark mode already and stuff, and then got the recruit hats from last year. I think will go really well. Man, I'm excited. I think it was like 2012. I'm from Montana originally, so big Huskies fan. And one of the games I went back there, my uncle's an alum from there, was the 2012 Stanford game, where Stanford I think was like number 5 in the nation. And they blacked out the stadium then for that game, and just absolutely, I mean, fire, awesome. I mean, fans are going crazy, players going crazy, and I think the same thing's going to happen here. I hope they black it out instead of doing the ugly Halloween candy checkerboard crap, whatever it is. But I mean, and I, you know, I was like, man, I didn't like it. And then Boogie, you shared that picture of the candy the other day, and I was like, that's all I can see now.
That's what happened to me. I was like, I'm fine with it. And Gabe sent me a DM. He's like, dude, look at this picture. And I'm like, I'm out.
Just doing the Lord's work, everyone.
And so, I think it's total. Let's do blackout with the light show going. I mean, it's going to be freaking awesome. And I just, they sit there and say it's going to be Nightmare at Neyland. I mean, who sits there and has, that goofy checker and orange for a nightmare? I mean, like I commented earlier, let's not make this just a nightmare for Kentucky, but for the whole SEC, and just keep riding this.
As a kid, if that's in your Halloween bag, that is a nightmare. Come on.
It is.
That is the worst candy possible. Like, what are you doing? If you're going to give me something orange and black or orange and dark, give me the freaking Reese Cups, man. Give me the Reese Cups. That's what we all want.
All about the Reese's.
Sean, what do you think, buddy? Nightmare at Neyland. You think they're gonna? Do you think that Danny White? Do you think they actually commit to doing a blackout?
Yeah, so far Danny White has done a lot of stuff that I didn't think an AD would bring back or listen to the fans on. And now that we talked about that, the smoky grays, obviously now these alternatives, now the dark mode. He listened about bringing back the VLLS, bring back the ball letters back. I think if there's enough push from the fans, I think we see the blackout come out, and I agree. And I saw your video this morning as well there, Boogie. I think we also see the beer barrel come back if there's enough pushback on there by him. I think Danny White is one of those ADs that he wants to honor his fan base, and so I think that's a really awesome thing. And sidebar on that, I want to say thank you guys for shouting out my boy Chad Fields. I've actually known that cat since high school. And so he has been really passes his passion. He loves it, how he shows his fandom. So if you haven't followed him yet, go follow him. He pulls out these random statistics with these uniforms and stuff like that. It's a good follow.
He was ready too. Like the second they announced, he had just this list of stats about the first time this, the first time that, the first time they've ever won. Like the dude, I didn't know him from Adam. I just, stumbled across him on Twitter, and, when you start talking about uniforms, that's the first guy that pops up. The chat's going nuts, so let me do this real quick. Wayne Starnes, Cheapskate Wayne, Dollar Wayne, 99-cent Wayne, drops a 50 spot. That's a big deal. We got to celebrate with the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Wayne going big time there, man. Wayne going big time with a $50 super chat. My prediction is Kentucky dictates tempo early. The Vols pull away 45-31. Robert, let me put you on blast here since Wayne's throwing a prediction out there. What do you think? Where's your confidence level? You got people like Gabe up there that think Kentucky's only going to score 10. You got Wayne saying 31. What do you think about this matchup? What do you think score-wise?
Man, I'm pretty confident about this one. I think we probably win about, 42-18. I
like it.
If Kentucky scores less than 10, then Dauber should get a Gabe tattoo.
Oh my God. That's aggressive. That's aggressive. What do you say, Dauber? Yes or no? I mean, I'll let you answer.
That's a big negative.
I'm never. I would never make a man I've never met in real life get a tattoo. Get a tattoo in my honor. But you know, the merit is there. The merit is there. Maybe a temporary tattoo would be cool.
I'll draw a little smiley face on me or something.
So what you're saying is you know that you haven't met before, but once you guys meet, that criteria might change.
Once we meet one time, then it'll be like, I think we're close enough to for you to get a tattoo of me, to bet tattoos.
Oh, a face, a picture of your face would be great.
The cartoon emoji.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Now don't give them ideas, Dauber.
Yeah, I'm thinking of ways we can incorporate that across the board with everybody, like some type of bet. That boogie emoji would look great on Dauber's forearm where everybody could see it. Let's see here.
Emoji.
Oh, I wanted to bring something back up because somebody I think Sean brought it up. This right here, the battle for the barrel, dude, and it's like. I love rivalry games. I love those weird type of trophies. And, I said it in the video this morning. Part of it was playing NCAA football. It was so cool to play all these different rivalry games and collect the trophies and stuff. Yep. So let's get weird. Let's get controversial. And I'm generally curious, just an open conversation. If people disagree with me, that's fine. I was trying to go back and forth and have a civil conversation with somebody in the comments on this, and they just shut me out real quick. Dustin, what do you think? Because the barrel has been around for a long time. I dropped all the facts in the video this morning. The barrel went away in 98 because 2 Kentucky football players were killed in a car crash that involved alcohol the week of the Tennessee game. And that makes perfect sense at the time to say, hey, let's put this thing away. Let's not, it's not to me, I mean, that was a long time ago. We all know how long ago 98 was, right? And the alcohol didn't kill anybody, and when somebody wants to say, well, I can't condone the alcohol, it's like, well, okay, well, do you ban the automobile? Because that was involved too. Some people made stupid decisions that night, and that's what led to the accident. I think it was a good move by both administrations to say, hey, let's get rid of the barrel. But it's 24 years later, Dustin. You want to bring the barrel back?
Yeah, man. I didn't know the history about it, to be honest with you. I felt like I had seen it more recently than that. But, us old-timers definitely remember swapping that back and forth. We didn't have to swap it too much back in those days. It's kind of daisy-chaining off what you said, but I was talking to somebody else at work today that, I'm always hooting and hollering about Tennessee football, and they're not, super involved in college sports. But I'm like, we're one of those teams that we don't just have 1 or 2 rivalries. We have like half a dozen. So I think any celebration of that and tradition, I'm all about. But I did not know that history about it. That is wild. So that's a classy move to pull it at that time. I understand why they did that.
What do you think, Adam? You ready to bring back the beer barrel?
Yeah, for sure. I think when you talk about NCAA football earlier this morning, it really reminded me of all the different games and going back and look at the trophy case of everything you collected, depending on what you were playing. And too, I think it gives another opportunity to really celebrate on the field with something, not champions of life when we were Butch Jones and celebrating back then. But at the same time, I think in this situation, we can put pressure on Will Levis, and he'll do like he did against Ole Miss, and he'll turn the ball over. Especially with our D-line, has been getting so much pressure on everyone else. I think it would give us an opportunity to celebrate on the field with that barrel one more time.
I agree.
Because he's not a first draft quarterback. I'm sorry, he's not.
He's not. And I think when you look statistically, I think that's one of the things that really surprises me the most of all the hype around him, just because he's a big dude. But he makes a lot of mistakes. He's a mid-tier quarterback when you look statistically at this point. He'll make some throws Saturday night, but at the same time, like, he's not going to keep up with Hooker.
Yeah, he's what you call the $1 million arm and a 10-cent head. Is absolutely what he is.
Yeah, and the numbers definitely haven't matched the hype. So I haven't really. I mean, he's made a few pretty throws that I've seen on highlights, but it's not been on a weekly basis by any means.
Well, it doesn't match.
Go ahead.
It doesn't match up either way. Also, look at look at what Tim Banks is doing right now. Pressure, pressure, pressure. And that offensive line of Kentucky is junk. I think they're going to – and he's still – I mean, that hand and the shoulder, I mean, we're several weeks into season now and everything. I mean, we're already past halfway mark. He's got to be hurting. And the second he starts getting hit more, and he's going to start hearing footsteps, and that secondary of ours is going to look world class. And it's just going to be pick sixes left and right like last year.
I want to go back to the barrel thing real fast because there's an interesting point that y'all made about NCAA, and I was born in 2002, so I never even got to see the barrel in real life. But I'm familiar with the barrel because of NCAA and winning that trophy and looking at the trophy case and seeing that barrel and thinking it was just like the most – because, trophies are supposed to be glamorous, right? In most games and most stuff, trophies are this like shiny, polished thing. And some games have their own. But I remember looking in that barrel and being like, why is there a barrel? Why is it a barrel? And it's just such a unique memory. And it's so cool. And I saw somebody in the chat say that I think they thought that maybe both schools had to approve it. And I could see how maybe Kentucky wouldn't want to do that. So I don't know if it comes back this week, but it's definitely something to talk about considering it is in storage right now in Knoxville. But I would like to see it return just because it is so unique. I mean, what other, college football teams pass back and forth a 50-year-old barrel, for winning it? Bionic Clay, you've been sitting down there patiently. You haven't gotten to say anything. What do you think about the barrel?
Yeah, I'm not as old as some of the people in here. I'm also not as young as you, Gabe. I was born in '93, so I was too young to remember the barrel. But I've seen the highlights, and I've watched old games on YouTube all the time. One of my favorite ones is when Peyton Manning set the record in '97 at Kentucky with passing yards, and him Boogie showed the video of the picture, Peyton holding that barrel up. I just think that's so cool. I think it'd be awesome to bring it back, just for old time's sake. Because that's one of the funny, like you said, unique. It's ugly looking, but it's also pretty looking because it's a trophy that has our name on it a lot because we've owned Kentucky so forever. Absolutely. So I would love to bring it back.
Something about being Kentucky's daddy or something like that's talked about here.
Yeah.
And you guys keep talking, and the more you talk like about the Kentucky's offensive line, the more I keep just thinking there's no way Kentucky wins this football game because they want to run the football. That's what they want to do. And Tennessee has the best run defense in the SEC, one of the best. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I'm just winging it. I'm not a professional. I just make crap up as I go. But they're at the top. They are at the top in run defense. And Kentucky wants to run the football. I don't think they'll be able to do that. And I think we're going to see Will Levis throw, I don't remember who said it. Could have been Dauber, could have been Gabe, could have been Xavier, could have been Eric Kane. I have no freaking clue who said it on this channel. Will Levis may throw the ball 50 times. He may throw the ball 50 times on Saturday. And what does that open up? Rodney Garner's defensive line to do Dauber. They're going to get after him. And, yeah, we saw UT Martin. What they have? I think they had one sack, but that was a different game plan, different style of play. We've seen what this defensive line could do. Look at Pitt. Look at LSU when they get after the quarterback and get pressure.
The pressure is the key, and I think they're going to clamp down on the running game, but continue to sprinkle in and dial up that pressure and mix it up. One quick word on my thoughts on the beer barrel. I'd love to see it come back. I don't think it will. One thing to think about here, after the SEC lifted the sale of alcohol, you still have 4 schools, and Kentucky being one of them, who does not sell beer in their stadium. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did some quick Googling while we were talking here.
Man, you should have just wrote that and never said you Googled anything. You were looking like $1 million bucks.
Now, hold on.
And that is...
we went to Lexington last year for the Kentucky game because I live like 20 minutes from the Kentucky border up here near Jamestown, Tennessee. And they may not sell alcohol and liquor inside that stadium, but there is plenty of it inside that stadium.
That's every stadium. Yeah, every stadium.
I can imagine. There was alcohol and liquor in the stadium in Knoxville prior to it being sold legally as well. But per Mitch Barnhart, their AD, as early as August of this year, when asked, because I think it was 2 years ago that the SEC dialed back those rules, which allowed the sell, and then it became up to the individual school. When he was asked about it in August of 2022, he said, no, it's not going to happen. So I think that's kind of Kentucky's stance on that. And going back to the history of it, not making light of the situation that occurred. I think they can find something else. I don't think Kentucky wants to, because we own them. So it's really just a trophy for us.
Well, I'm older than most of you guys in the chat, and Tennessee, Kentucky will always be the battle for the beer barrel for me.
Mm-hmm.
I hope one day it comes back. I don't think it really will, but we can hope.
Let me catch up on some super chats real quick and say this. We just hit 500 people watching live. That's absolutely huge for a Tuesday night fan call-in show. If it's your first time on this channel and you're going, why is there 10 people on this channel just yelling at each other and screaming and talking about a beer barrel? Because this is a fan call-in show. We give you guys a platform to come on, hang out, talk football, and it's quickly becoming one of the biggest shows of the week is every single Tuesday night. So if you like what we do, number one, smash the thumbs up. All 500 of you, hit that thumbs up. Also, if you, just go ahead and subscribe, click that bell for notifications. Big time week, big week coming up. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, JP's going to be back. And it's going to be fun because JP was out of town for the LSU win. He was out of town for the Alabama win. So he's going to have a lot to get off his chest tomorrow. But also, Ben McKee from Go Vols 247 Sports will be here. I hear people say Go Vols 247. I'm like, that's stupid. You should say 24/7. You should say 24/7 Sports. And I hear people say 247. I'm like, I know that's what you're saying, but I'm going to go but once Ben came on, I was like, all right, I got to say Go Vols 247 from now on. So Ben McKee will be here tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Going to be a great time. The way he broke down that Bama game, I just sent him a text and I said, hey, man, you want to come back on and break down Kentucky the same way? He said, I would love to do it. So he'll be here tomorrow at 7. Let me hit these super chats real quick. MD Vols for $20. That ain't cheap. Hey, fellas, something I haven't heard you mention is Chase McGrath missing an extra point in the last 2 games. Not worried about it, but just interested in y'all's comments about it. He actually didn't miss last week. That was
Toby Wilson.
Yeah, Toby Wilson came in and missed last week. Obviously, the week before, that was a huge issue. But guess what? It was a redemption story. Came back, nailed the game winner. All is forgotten.
I think it's because I predicted him to miss an extra point in the LSU game, and then he didn't. So then the jinx had to come along somewhere. The karmic retribution had to happen at some point, and it just happened to happen during the Alabama game. So I apologize to Vol Nation for that. But I'm glad he was able to redeem himself, put through the Knoxville knuckleball, heard around the world, and just thought I'd throw that out there. But
so you're saying you're to blame, and now you're saying Kentucky's going to score 10. So when they score 60, it's your fault.
Anyone that agrees with me is coming down with me, though. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
We're in this together. If you're going to agree with me, I'm carrying the banner, but we're all falling together. All right.
Let me run through some more super chats real quick. Tyler Coggins for 5. GBO dark mode activated. Thank you, Tyler, for the super chat. We appreciate it, my man. Jacob McGuire for 2. Will the barrel ever make a return? We covered that. I didn't even see that super chat. But yeah, I want it to come back. I don't know if it comes back. I don't know. I got mixed feelings about it. I got mixed feelings about it. Mucho Boomin for 5. Shout out to you, Boogie, for always putting in the work. Met X Factor in Wonderland. Good guy. GBO. Whoa, you meeting people out in real life, Xavier?
Yeah.
You want to tell me what that experience was? Did somebody come up to me like, hey, are you Xavier from Talkin VAWLS?
Yeah, my man here, he told me, so I was in there, and then he was just like, he's like, aren't you Xavier? Aren't you X Factor? And I was like, yeah. And then, of course, after the UT Martin game, I had on my orange polo, and he was like, yeah. He said, you on the Talkin VAWLS? And I said, yeah. So it was a great experience. I said, hey, appreciate seeing you, my guy. Really good conversation we had.
Yeah, that's cool, man. It's so cool. Anytime you see, well, I won't speak for everybody. If you see me out in public, feel free to come up and say, hey, man, I would love to talk to you guys, put a name with a face. Yeah, it's sometimes it's weird. People are like, I saw you here in the chat. I saw you here at this place. That's a little weird. But if you do see me at that place, don't put it in the chat. Just come up and say, what's up? That'd be cool to meet you guys. Seth Brooks for 5. It's a good show, Boogie. Appreciate what y'all do. Will y'all be having these shows and covering basketball this year? Go Big Orange. Yes. Me and Dauber have sat down and had conversations. We added Xavier to those conversations, and we're going to be doing – it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be as big. It's not going to be this huge ordeal. It doesn't work with the schedule to do post-game shows. So what we're going to do is every Sunday at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Eastern time, it's going to kind of be almost like a podcast, like a weekly recap. So every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, we're going to go live and recap the week in basketball. If there's a game on Sunday, which happens every now and then, not a lot, but every now and then, maybe we'll shift the time and go live right after the game. That's something that the three of us will talk about. We've not even mentioned it to Gabe. I don't know if he watches basketball or not, but I'm not as deep in basketball as I am football. So I'm not going to be dropping recruiting videos, speculation videos, but you guys want the content, we'll bring you the content. So that's the plan. That's the plan is every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, we'll go live and recap the week in basketball. I'll have to shift the NCAA streams. We'll move it back to the midweek. Once we get into December, everything changes. Just make sure you guys are dialed in. Follow us on social media, all that good stuff. We'll let you know. But we are going to be covering basketball.
And I'll throw it out there. Depending on the schedule and game times and the two of us, three of us with Xavier, what we've got going on, we might do a watch party for, a Kentucky game or something like that.
It'll be very loose.
The big rival games.
It's going to be pretty laid back and chill, and we'll still try to bring, as much quality content as we can. Listen, we're not experts on football, so
dang sure not experts on basketball.
I mean, rec league all the way, baby. Let's
like. I'm just like, take it to the hoop, man. Take it to the hoop. Like, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun, man. Like, laid back. It'll be a blast.
Because like I said, like Dauber said, like me and my guys, we go to the rec center. We hoop. Like I say, I used to hoop for Boys and Girls Club and all that stuff. So like I said, it's really fun. Like I said, basketball's my sport. So
at the end of the day, we'll be watching the games anyway. So we'll jump on and talk about them. And
what we're not going to do is cover baseball. Probably not going to cover baseball. That's way too much time. All right, let me finish up these super chats. Alphaman06 for 5. Thank you for the super chat. Nothing to say, just a tip in the old tip jar. Michael Davis for 5. Honestly, in addition to the next 2 games, the South Carolina game is starting to worry me more with how South Carolina has been playing. Thoughts? Well, I would encourage you to go look at my emotional response to the SEC. They did not win that game on Saturday. They were gifted that game. Texas A&M is trash. Jimbo Fisher is trash. I mean, you got a quarterback walking up to check the play, and the snap is getting bounced off of his forehead. Like, just a disaster. South Carolina sucks.
Kinds of
South Carolina
going on in College Station.
I'll say this right now: Jimbo's gone. After that,
I don't think so. It's too much money, man.
Jimbo,
buyout's ridiculous.
With Texas A&M, it's going to be an NFL level of protect the coach so much that you destroy the rest of your program. That's what's going to happen in College Station.
He came out today and suspended indefinitely 3 players, three freshmen. So, and that's 3 freshmen that are likely part of that $23 million NIL bunch. So
probably
that's guys that he said, yeah, let's get them, let's pay them, bring them here.
No.
Hey, it's okay. Let them hit the portal and let them come to the real conference. Let them come to the real team.
Let me say this real quick to Goat, saying not even a weekend recap for baseball. That's my sport. If we got enough members and I could legitimately do this full time, I would cover baseball. I can't cover something's got to give. At some point, I got to say, all right, I'm not on YouTube 7 hours a day. At some point, I've got to be a father, a family man. I've got to be a husband. I've got to do my day job. Something has to give. If I go full time, then I would maybe make that commitment to you guys to do that. But right now, it is what it is. Hey, let's rotate some people. We're 40 minutes in. And Coach Jay has been waiting patiently in the back. If we can rotate a handful of people, 3-4 people off real quick, and then I'm going to go post the link out there for Talkin VAWLS Gold. I want to continue to try to get as many people on here as we can. So if a couple of you guys can bounce and we can add some people, I would appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey, have a good night, y'all. Go Vols.
See ya.
Appreciate you.
See ya.
Thanks
Go
for jumping
Vols.
on, buddy.
Go Vols.
Go Big Orange.
Later, Robert.
Woo. Hey, I'm going to throw this out here while you're shuffling the group. I've seen a lot of chatter about getting a woman on here. Hey, Boogie's not. He's gender neutral.
I don't make
bring
the decisions around here. All I do is hit add Coach J. I don't care if he's a male, a female, or a dog. Like if his dog was sitting in the chair, the dog would be on the show.
All you got to do is join up, and we'll get you on here.
They were actually going back and forth last week and aggravating each other, saying somebody needs to get on and do it. And they were scared. So we'll see who steps up. Let me hit these real quick, and then we'll get to Coach J. M5 for 2. Watch party on Saturday. No way. I cannot do that for Kentucky. We got to dial in, focus, and then we're going to do a tailgate show before and a post-game show after. But those watch parties, I don't know that I can handle it.
They're intense.
No offense to anybody, but I wouldn't be able to stand y'all.
We did it for Bama the year JG went rogue. Holy cow. Holy cow.
God. Oh, God. I couldn't even imagine.
Courtney becomes a member of the channel. Thank you, Courtney. We appreciate it. You got those custom Talkin VAWLS emojis. Drop them in the chat. Show her what she's won. Justin Goforth for 5. Honestly, feel like we're going to win out. It just feels right. It's our turn. No apologies. Let's go Big Orange. I like it. Let's just win them all. It feels like a special year for sure. Coach Jay, you've been waiting so patiently in the back. We've talked about a lot. We talked about dark mode. We've talked about the nightmare at Neyland, black and orange. We've talked about the beer barrel. What's going through your head? First of all, I like your shirt, but what do you want to unload on us here as you come in?
Feeling good about the game. I think everyone kind of is. Kentucky probably have a little bit of fight. I think they'll try to keep us in front of them. A lot of zone, keep 2 safeties back. Where they run 3-3-5, I think, something like that when I was watching them the other day. So I think they're going to try to make us, dink and dunk.
I agree.
I know it's a common opinion, and I think it's just kind of what it is. Kentucky's been pretty good against first down defense this year. I think somewhere in the top 10, maybe even the top 5. I really think it's important in Hochul's offense to get going on first down. Just like it's important not to get too many penalties in that offense so we can go quick. But I think we can beat them at it, though. I think our offensive line's better. I think we're just better up front, period, and the SEC's one in the trenches. So
now, Coach Jay, as a football coach, I know you are fully aware that the game happens on the field. You can't always predict it. What is your take on my 10-point take? I'm not going to call it a prediction right now. I'm not going to call it a prediction yet.
Don't hold back, Coach Jay. Don't hold back.
What do you think? Do you think it's a possibility, or are you like, no way? What do you think?
I think it's a possibility. I don't predict it, though. I wouldn't say I'm fully on board. I think there's a good chance we can really get to Will Levis on Saturday night. Like, I don't know what kind of percentage I would put on that, but if we don't, they will score points. And to me, it's just that simple. If we can get to that quarterback consistently, I don't think they're going to be able to run on us. And especially while we're bringing heat, then maybe they hit A gap once for like a big run when we're bringing a blitz or kind of get caught beyond the football, if you will. But beyond that, I don't think they're going to have a very stable running game against us. And if we can get to that quarterback, your prediction will come through. If he's got time or they got a really good game plan and can get the ball out of his hand really quick, kind of similar to, I guess, what Ball State was doing.
Yeah.
A lot of flats out, a lot of short curls and stuff like that.
Right.
Then maybe so. But, yeah,
Listen.
I guess I took a safe play and had a safe.
Go on.
That's Coach speak. Coach Jay with the coach speak.
There you go.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Let me be in Gabe's inner monologue. So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, there you go.
Wait a second. If I was a good YouTuber and I was ready, I could hit this clip.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah.
That's fast enough.
There you
Just
go.
for Sean.
Just remind everybody. You know who had a bye week last week?
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Who's game plan for 2 weeks?
Kentucky.
Who's going to kick 4 field goals and beat your 10 points?
You know who had a
Will Levis doesn't even have to play.
You know who
It's
had
just
a
their kicker.
scrimmage? You know who had a scrimmage on Saturday? You know, had a scrimmage playing their freaking 7th team guys against UT Martin.
You didn't say anything about Tennessee scoring points.
What? Well,
You
the
said
defense rested
Kentucky-
too. We had like a million guys that weren't playing on defense from the jump on Saturday. They're gonna. Our defense had a bye week. Our defense had a bye week.
I was going to say a second ago that I think it's real important to not only get after the quarterback when he's back to pass, but kind of contain him as well. He's obviously not as big of a threat as Bryce Young or Richardson as far as running goes, but he has that capability. I don't know if he's been running so much since he's had his injury, but I think that'll be important. And on the secondary, we definitely need to get some guys back. I'm not sure if they've officially said anything about McCullough being allowed to play or not, but as much as he's been iffy back there with Burrell and all the other guys, we still need that experience. And I'm also hoping that our run game opens up even more. We've had some pretty good chunk plays over the course of a game, but we haven't had those like long runs like we may have had last year. So I'm hoping that will kind of open up as the game goes along too.
Yeah, somebody else in the chat just asked about McCullough. McCullough's been cleared from the university side. Okay. But as far as legally and all that stuff, I don't know. I thought it was interesting because I thought he was practicing. I thought he was practicing with the team. And VolQuest in their 2-minute drill today said that he has been around the team but not practicing. That's
which blows my mind because I don't want to get too much into this because it's kind of controversial. But the whole Alabama player punching somebody and he's just free gimme, go ahead and play, and then something like this we get. Stuck behind some sort of red tape with, and it just blows my mind how those things work.
Let me get Christopher on here. What's up, Christopher? Hey, we can talk about it. Me and Gabe talked about it Monday on the Monday morning show. It's a joke, and I've never been so embarrassed for humanity to see people come in and defend this guy and say, well, she shouldn't have been on the field. She shouldn't have done this. She shouldn't have done that. Are you kidding me? Like
your mic right now.
The whole world of college football knew that we were going to storm the field if we won that game. So it's like is it something we do often? No, but we talked about it before on the previous show. Of it wasn't just the fact that we beat Alabama and all this, it's all the turmoil in history and all the crap that we've been through in the last 15 years is the culmination of why we stormed the field. But still, it's like what really bothered me was the pass off Nick Saban excuse. Like, has he ever used the word scared in his vocabulary? Never. And then, you're playing like the biggest men in the state for 4 hours, and then all of a sudden you're scared.
I wouldn't
buy that.
I wouldn't say scared, but he's kind of like crybaby-ish kind of attitude.
But he's saying like he said that he was scared.
Nick Saban said that they were the players were scared and I was scared. I'm like,
now what I've heard a lot of people say is that Saban is he's just acting like he just seems tired. He just seems like a tired old man up there at Alabama. He really does. He seems like he's the type of guy who's going to start losing control of his team because he literally just physically doesn't have the energy to do that. That was not the Nick Saban that we've seen over the past 15 years. That was not the same Nick Saban that stood up there on Monday and said he was scared, I was scared, literally defending all of his actions, blah, 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 all that stuff. That was not the same Nick Saban we've seen. Nick Saban is the greatest college football coach of our time, if not ever. And
ever.
He is
ever.
And I have or had massive respect for Nick Saban, but that takes a serious his whole personality, the respect that everyone has for him takes a massive hit when he stands up there and and tries to like there isn't a video of him doing it that Jermaine Burton was scared. He was scared. Other players were scared. If you watch those videos, he doesn't look scared. He looks angry. He's got this look on his face like he's mad. Like he is upset that his team lost. Of course he was. but it never warrants what he did. And for Nick Saban to stand up there and say what he did, it's not like he has been. It's not like him normally. And I'm just afraid that plays into the idea that the Alabama dynasty, to tie it back into football, I think the Alabama dynasty might be going back down because Nick Saban seems to be losing control of his team.
There's a crack in that. Oh yeah, I agree with you, Gabe. There's a crack in that dynasty for sure. But I mean, it goes back to what I've been saying for a while now. Like I said, like you got NIL playing a part in college football now, and also the transfer portal. That I really truly believe that in the next, I'd say I'm just going on a whim here, probably the next 2, maybe even 3 years, if Saban still wants to continue his season, he's gonna retire. I mean, he really is.
I think so. I think he's like you said. I think he's getting tired, and I think that I bring up what Gabe said about him looking tired. I think it's also in a weird way. Saban is one of those guys that he's one of those coaches. I think he likes. You can see this. He likes it. Not as though he likes the loss, but he kind of, I don't know. It motivates him when the loss comes. Like you see that fire come in him, and then you usually see it in Alabama in the next few weeks after a loss happens. I didn't feel like we saw that with this week after with us, and I feel like that's. I think Saban feels like that. Not necessarily the challenge is gone anymore, but like I don't feel like talking about that. I think that spark has left him where he gets that loss. All right, now let's go out and show that we're the number one team in the country. There just wasn't that this past week.
I got to play this clip. I got to play this clip because you guys are talking about the way Nick Saban responds. And they came out and beat Mississippi State 30-6, and then this happened.
They use our hands better. We don't move our hands. We don't move our hands very good. You know, when I was a kid, I was in grade school, and I was a big dinosaur guy, and I can't remember the gas station. But they give you a free dinosaur. You know, if you got filled up there, that's back when they had commercials on TV, and then they give something to the kids, people like me, and then and the idea was you raise hell with your parents every time you're in the station wagon. When we had one good classic, like something off of Wonder Years, it was one of those fake Woody ones where it had fake painted on wood. But then the best is it would always, without exception, the finish and the varnish on it would peel. So then it looked more bogus than ever. So we had one of those.
I needed an excuse to play that. I needed an excuse to play that.
I was like, when you played that, when I was watching the video the other day, I was like, what is going on? What is he talking about?
He said something that wasn't even the worst. Hold on, who's got the echo? We gotta fix the echo. Who's got the echo? Who's got the echo? All right, we fixed it. It's Christopher. We got the echo fixed. He was talking about something about we didn't use our hands. We didn't use our hands good enough. We didn't use our hands, and I don't want people, to come through Starkville 100 years from now, and people aren't going to have hands because of evolution. And we didn't. It's like, dude, you just got beat by Alabama 30-6, and you're talking about gas stations and dinosaurs and evolution of hands.
Dinosaurs. Yeah, he lost me at dinosaurs.
That guy almost in Tennessee. That guy.
I was going to say, I was going to say that, man, how lucky are we? And I know we've been through the ringer on coaches changes, but it's nice we got a young guy that's like kind of straight and to the point. Not only like scheme wise is he young and smart and with it, but like I just think it's going to be changing the guard for some of these old timer coaches. We're already seeing it in Jimbo Fisher and Saban. So I think we're fortunate to have a guy that's young and kind of hip to the new way of things.
Yeah, I wanted Mike Leach. I'm so glad he didn't come to Tennessee.
No? Didn't he say no?
No,
that was when the whole coaching search got shut down.
Yeah, he was coming, and that's what got Curry fired. Because apparently, I'm speaking out of turn maybe, but Curry went to go get Mike Leach without telling the administration what he was
Curry
doing.
was on a plane to Washington
with his cell phone off, with his cell phone turned off, to go out there and hire Mike Leach. I love Mike Leach, but I'm glad he's not at Tennessee.
Yes, we actually a lot of fans wanted that, but we dodged a bullet.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Hey, Dan Mullen is a weird cat too. and you saw his run at Florida.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
And you know, across the board, man, it also shows true how important quarterbacks are. Because you know, I wouldn't say that if we didn't have Hendon Hooker that we still wouldn't be doing well on offense, but to have an elite quarterback, you know, that's what a lot of these teams are missing, and so we're really fortunate to be in that spot after so long of such a drought.
Yeah, man, I mean, how much can you? I mean, what can you? How much more can you really say about just this football team and how? I mean, we're 7-0 right now, y'all. We're 7 wins, 0 losses. Who really
Never would
saw
have
that
thought it.
coming? Who
Never
really
would have
saw that
thought it.
coming? Very
Yeah.
few people looked at the schedule and said, not just hope, not just hoping we would be 7 wins, not just believing that we might be, but actually looking and saying, you know, numbers wise, I am predicting Tennessee to be 7-0 by this point. Some people, I'm sure, but that it is just, it is unbelievable what not just the administration does, not what this staff has done, but how about these players buying in and working so hard, you know, and they do it for them. They do it for them, which is great, because when they do it for them, they play better football and it's better for us, you know.
Yeah.
But they also care about the fans. But it's just so, I mean, you can't say enough about where we are right now. 7-0. I don't care if I mean, I want to beat Georgia. I don't care if we lose to Georgia. I'm being completely honest. I don't care if I sit there and watch us lose, you know, 55-24. I don't want that to be the case. Obviously, I want us to put up a fight and maybe win that game. But I with the fact that we're even standing here and saying we might be, you know, 8-0 heading into Georgia with eyes on the SEC and or call. I mean, even if we do lose to Georgia, there is a really, really good chance that we make
Still
it
go
into
to the
the
playoffs.
college football playoff, guys. 4 teams getting. This isn't the extended playoff. This is 4 teams. And
Gabe just brought up a point that I threw at Eric Kane on the Monday morning show, and I don't think a lot of people get it. And I'm going to throw it now at Coach Jay. Gabriel just said, I don't care if we lose to Georgia. So does that make Kentucky the biggest game on the schedule? Because I feel like that's where this entire fan base is at, is we can lose to Georgia and everybody's going to be happy. But if you go lose to Kentucky on Saturday, that puts a horrible taste in your mouth, even though we're sitting here at 7-0, even though Tennessee would still be looking at 10-2 potentially.
If we lose to Kentucky, I have a terrible taste in my mouth. I think I'd be mad for the better half of the week, if not for a month. I'd probably be still stewing up into that kickoff in Athens. But yeah, that would really eke me. But I care about beating Georgia too. I really believe that we have changed that conversation. And I get what you mean. Yeah, we're playing with house money. Yeah, we've already risen way above expectations, and we're in a no-lose situation. But I think they've raised that bar there, and kind of what you were saying, Gabe, that whole process that these coaches have given these kids, and they've really taught them the right way. You can just tell, and I guarantee you're right. They would have bet on themselves before this year. I would have bet every dollar I had that they would have. They believe in themselves, and coach believes in them, and they're teaching them, which I don't think we were doing a very good job of for a long time. And it's just great to have kind of an all-around coach that can teach them, that can lead, that can, you know, bring in the right coordinators and have that right buzzword of culture or process or whatever you want to call it. But
well, and
he's
you're
got
seeing
it, whatever it is. Yeah,
and you're seeing the results on the field. And for me, like Gabe said, I wouldn't go that far. If Georgia beats us by, 3 scores, I'm not going to be very happy with the way this season has played out, the way this team has played. Could it happen? Yeah. this offense could stall out, and we all know that there are deficiencies on the defensive side of the ball, especially in the secondary. So if your offense isn't clicking and your defense is struggling, that is recipe for getting boat raced. But I want to say, like entering the Alabama game, I think that this team can absolutely 100% compete with Georgia. I think they can go toe for toe with Georgia. It's not one of those things where Tennessee has to come out and play a perfect game. Tennessee has to have no mistakes. They have to have no penalties. Georgia has to play bad for Tennessee to win. I don't think that's the case because this offense is going to get theirs.
I agree. And let me rephrase what I said, because I could see how me saying I don't really care if we lose to Georgia could be misconstrued into
you threw
me
points
thinking,
out there again too.
What?
Gabe's learning. Gabe's learning. He's going to get attacked for everything he says.
Well, no.
I got your back, chat.
I meant what I meant by saying that is that I would be okay if we lost. Like it's not like I don't care if we win. Like obviously I want to win against Georgia. Like why would I not want Tennessee to beat Georgia? I want Tennessee to beat Georgia probably more than I wanted them to beat Alabama, if I'm being honest. Because Georgia's the SEC East rival. They're the one, I don't know, they're closer to home, whatever. But I want them to win, but what I'm saying is in the big picture of our season, I am not going to be mad if we put up a fight against Georgia and lose.
Yeah.
That's what I meant by saying that, because our team has fight. There's if we go 11-1 on the season, I know everyone here wants Tennessee to win out. Guys, 11-1? 11-1? We went 7-5 last year. 7-5. To go 11-1, for sure make a New Year's Six Bowl and potentially get into the college football playoff at the end of the season. Yes, I would be okay with that.
You pissed off the chat again. You said, hold on a second. You said the exact same thing I've been saying since Monday, but the way you said it, the entire chat wants you kicked off the show and banned for life. I love it. Hey, I got to there's 7 super chats waiting for me to get to. We got to get to those super chats. Coach Jay, stick around. If everybody else can bounce, I've got some people in the back waiting to come on. And Dustin, Bionic Clay, Sean, we appreciate you guys coming on. Always a blast, man. Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Let me
one more. Go Vols.
Let me run down some super chats. Coach Jay, stick around. The real Hank for 2, but we have the best baseball team in the nation. You know what's funny? Somebody said that when I put out the video and basically made the announcement that we were going to stop mid-season covering baseball. They said, wow, you're such a freaking idiot. We got the best baseball team in the country. And it's like I can put out a recruiting video and it pulls 8,000 views. We can do a baseball live stream that takes 16 hours to prepare for, and it pulls 1,000 views and makes $20. Who's the idiot? I get it. I love baseball too, man. That's my favorite sport on planet Earth. I love baseball. Sometimes you got to make business decisions for you and your family. So I'm sorry, Hank. It is what it is. Kevin Smith for 10, 42-9. I got your back, Gabe. One person likes you, Gabe. One person likes you. I appreciate the super chat, Kevin. Justin Goforth for 5. Kentucky's offensive line has issues protecting Levis. Our defense will have a field day the way we rotate Vols all day. We talked about that earlier, being able to play. I think Gabe said the 7th string. It's going to be huge, man. Hopefully they're well rested and ready to go. Jody Wooten for 2 says Vols 45-17. I will take that. Tennessee Sports Hub, $2 super chat, nothing to say, but follows that up with 5. There isn't enough credit given to our line. We've given up 11 sacks, 6 quarterback hits. Our defense has 17 sacks, 60 quarterback hits. I think the defensive line is in control of that football game on Saturday. That's going to be the difference maker. Tennessee Sports Hub for another 5. I also predicted 15-0 Natty before the LSU game in the Super Chat. Who did you say would haunt your dreams if that happened? Shout out to them. Goat's been saying since day one, like since the beginning of the year, Goat's been saying 15-0 Natty. Every comment, every super chat, every post game show, every video, he's in the comments or the chat saying 15-0. Landon for 2, losing to Kentucky makes Georgia a must win. I know you guys are giving Gabe a hard time, and Gabe's got to learn to adapt to that role, that he's now the fall man. It's fun, man. But, hey, I agree with what he said. That Georgia game, it's not must win. It's Kentucky. No. Kentucky is must win. Let me refresh the screen here.
Words matter.
We got Joe. Yes, the way Gabe will learn to articulate eventually. We got Joe. We got Trucker Dougie. We got Wade. We got Christopher. We got Seth. We got Caleb. We got Caleb in the background. All right, we got a full house. Caleb, stick around. We'll get you on here in just a second. Seth, are you there? I'm going to give Seth.
Yeah,
there he is. What's up, buddy? How's it going, man?
Hey, good. How are y'all? I hope there's no background noise. It's raining pretty hard down here.
No, you're good, man. You sound good.
But I was going to piggyback on Gabriel. And I've been saying for a few weeks now, ever since even back to the Florida or the LSU game, with even the thought of being able to beat Alabama, I've told all my buddies at work, I'm like, guys, what if we go out and beat Alabama, beat Kentucky, and then lose to Georgia, try to keep it within a touchdown or two, and then win out? Even if we miss the SEC championship, how many times has Alabama missed the SEC championship and then went to the national championship?
Right. Couple.
And the more I think about it too, it's like, a lot of selection committees, a lot of the big names in college football don't like Tennessee. We know that there's a bias against Tennessee, but at the same time, how could you not see, okay, well, Tennessee beat Alabama. They beat several ranked teams. I mean, South Carolina's ranked now. I don't know how long that'll stay, but you go down there and beat South Carolina, ranked. But how could you not look at that and say, well, Tennessee's only loss is to Georgia by a touchdown or two, the best team in the nation, and they beat all these ranked teams. How could you not look at that and say, all right, they're in the playoff? You know what I mean? But yeah, just to agree with y'all on that. Yeah, Georgia is not a must-win game.
No.
It's a must-not blowout game. We don't want to go down there and get blowed out. But at the same time, that you want to win all the games, but looking at like Gabriel said, looking at the bigger picture, it might benefit Tennessee more if they end up losing to Georgia. But
I would rather lose to Georgia and sneak in the back door than face Bama in the SEC championship again.
And that's what
that Bama team is going to be scary, man. I'm just saying.
That's what I wanted to add on to what Gabe said too, was that, yeah, I don't want to play Bama again in the SEC championship game. I just don't, because we all know how Nick Saban is, and the Alabama team is that they come back and they're going to smell blood. So I would rather just, go ahead and, yes, I want to beat Georgia. I do. But even if we lose to Georgia, that's fine, guys. We can still get a backdoor sneak into the playoffs. And then honestly, because it's all this talk about Ohio State, and all this and that. I don't know how the rankings really work when it comes to the playoffs and stuff like that, but let us get matched up with Ohio State.
More accurate.
I would want to get matched up with Ohio State, expose them, and be like, okay, you guys are the number one, and I get it, C.J. Stroud, this is and that. Yeah. But let's see if you can really keep up with an SEC team. You know what I'm saying? Go in there, expose Ohio State, and then just – I would want to play Georgia again in the national championship.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Xavier, I was about to ask you, Xavier, who would you rather play, Georgia or Alabama in the ship? Like, if you could pick one or the other, who would you take? Who you like your odds against better?
My odds are against Georgia, man, because even going back to that Missouri game, that was just so oddly weird in the first half. I just believe that, we're the better team, and if this team, they already have in their mind of the big picture of going to the playoffs. So I believe that this team can go down and compete and even have a shootout with Georgia other than Bama, because, we all know how Bama is. So, but yeah, I'm serious. Like, I don't want to play Bama again. Like, if it came to the SEC championship, I just don't want to. I feel like our bigger chances that if we sneak into the playoffs, we have a better chance of beating Georgia again at the national championship game.
To those of you in the chat that are calling mine and Xavier's stance weak, you got to remember, we don't remember when Tennessee was competing for championships on the national level. We don't remember that. Like Xavier might remember when Tennessee was competing for an SEC championship like a million years ago, but
2007.
Like I said, a million years ago. Depending on but we don't remember when Tennessee was competing on the national level for championships.
All right.
You know, that matters a lot to me. That matters a lot to me. To me, I would rather, I'm going to say this right now. I would rather Tennessee sneak into the playoff and have a shot at the Natty than go to the SEC championship. And I know there are a lot of people that disagree with that because, again, second-year coaching staff. If we go to the SEC championship and lose and don't make the playoff, that's still a great season. That's still a great freaking season. But to me,
all right. Yeah, we hear you. Listen. Okay.
Shut up and let Daddy talk.
So Roman Harper, who gets paid to do stuff like this, said on SEC Nation something very, very similar to what you and Xavier are saying. Said, it wouldn't be the worst thing for Tennessee to go lose to Georgia. Booger McFarland, because they were down in Baton Rouge for the LSU game, he said, "You've done lost your damn mind." And I think that's what you – listen, first of all, we got to get through Kentucky this Saturday.
Yes.
First of all, that's what we got to do.
First time ever, Chase. First time ever.
Second of all, man, well, let's just cancel the game and not play Georgia if you're scared.
No,
nobody. I say I was scared to Georgia.
We was scared. No,
we're gonna play the game to win, and that's what we're gonna do.
Well,
and then we're gonna beat them again.
It's battered Vol syndrome. That's what all of this is. It's battered Vol syndrome. People are scared of Georgia. They were scared of freaking Alabama. They were scared of LSU. They were scared of Florida. They were scared of everybody. That's all it is. At what point do you just say, I'm riding with Tennessee no matter who they play because they're back? They're back.
That's why I don't want to say back. I want to say here. I don't want to talk
But they're back because we've been here before. If you say here, we've never been here before. We've been here before, so we're back.
Well,
I'm going to change your mind on that just like I changed your mind on being aggressive.
We're here right now.
We're back.
We're here with all our friends.
Minus Gabe.
I get it. Look, we are back, but just listen. Just listen.
Wait a second. No. I got to attack you, Xavier, because you just said, we'll sneak into the playoff. You know who you're going to play in the playoff? If Alabama goes to the SEC championship?
Alabama or Georgia?
You're going to play Alabama or Georgia. Wait a second.
Hey.
There's only one way I can sum all this freaking crap up. I can sum it all up with this right here.
To be the man, you got to beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here.
Bring it.
Y'all are wait, hold on. Y'all are accusing me and Xavier of being scared of Georgia when y'all are like, we gotta play Kentucky first. You think we're losing to Kentucky?
No, we didn't say that.
Then why can't we look ahead to Georgia? Why can't we talk about the Georgia game in the bigger picture? Without being like,
somebody just said in the chat a second ago, we've not talked about Kentucky all night.
We gotta play Kentucky first. We're not Josh Heupel in this football team. Why are y'all scared of Kentucky? I don't care about Kentucky. There's people in the chat saying, are we even playing Kentucky this weekend? Yeah, but who cares? Because we're gonna beat them.
Not with that attitude.
What is happening? I feel like we've got Indy Kid Jr. in the seat now. What is happening?
Let's hit this. Let's hit the reset button.
Okay, there's a good way to do that. I can hit these super chats real quick. Smoky Mountain Surfs for 2, Vols 45, Kentucky 27. I'll take that. Thank you for the super chat. Brent Rowland for 5. We have been prepared every week and gotten better. I don't know how we could possibly lose to Kentucky 45-14, which is more than 10. But thank you, Brent, for the super chat. We appreciate it. The Wiseman for $5. Gabe just needs to take his foot off the gas when his take starts downhill. Oh, my gosh, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, Wiseman, but I appreciate the super chat. Gabe's the man. Gabe does good work. Gabe adds a lot to this show.
If I put my foot on the gas going down a hill, I'll either hit a wall at full speed or I'm gonna hit that ramp and fly, baby.
I think we're hitting.
I
think we're hitting the gas full speed right now. We're getting full speed, Gabe, right now. Let me plug some merch real quick. Go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. You guys know you want to rep this business shirt, the scoreboard shirt, Vols 52, Bama 49. It's just business. We would appreciate you guys going and checking that out. We got the Old Faithfuls as well. We got a game coming up this Saturday, even though some of us want to skip right by it. But it is Kentucky, and if you want to know how we feel about Kentucky, we're Kentucky's daddy, so you can go pick up that shirt as well. Look, if you go look at the designs, you got T-shirts, you got tank tops, long sleeve, hoodies, sweatshirts, all kinds of fun stuff. Go check it out. Again, it's bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. The link to that is in the description below. Also, if you're wondering who all these people are, how does everybody get on this show, you can become a member of the channel for as little as 99 cents a month. That button is right down below. You can join the channel. Or if you want to give a little bit more, that's cool too. You can give up to $10 a month. You get access first to come on the show and hang out. Always a good time. These fan call-in shows are an absolute blast. We got a busy week coming up. Wednesday, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Ben McKee from Go Vols 247 will be right here breaking down the Kentucky game. Something tells me he's going to predict Kentucky to score more than 10, but we'll wait and see what the expert has to say tomorrow at 7 o'clock. JP's going to be back. We're going to be talking. Let him celebrate a little bit, man. Let him talk about the wins over LSU and Alabama, expectations, all kinds of good fun. Then me and the kid over there, that's got everybody so riled up, we're going to be going live Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Me and Gabe going to be doing a second morning show of the week. So make sure you tune in for that. Lots of content coming your way. What's up, Papa T? Good to see you in the chat, buddy. Let me throw this thing. Who we got here? Who we got in the house? Wade. Wade's in the house. What's up, Wade? How you feeling about all this controversy and chaos and yelling and screaming? How you feeling about Saturday? How do you feel about Georgia? I don't know. What's your favorite chili recipe? You can talk about anything you want to talk about, Wade, because you have our logo branded on your arm. So the floor is yours.
I'm just sitting back listening to them two, father and son, good old father and son. It's always
they need to hash it out. They need to hash it out.
Hey, I guess I'm the stepson.
I agree.
I'm the stepson.
Yeah, redheaded stepchild. Maybe we should just buy a wrestling ring and put them all three in there and let them duke it out one good time. That'd be a good live show.
That sounds amazing. I feel
pretty good about this weekend. I think we'll handle Kentucky. I just think their offensive line isn't that good. I don't think they'll be able to protect Levis. They haven't shown to this point in this year that they can. So I think our defense is going to pin their ears and get back after them. And I think we'll have a pretty big win. I think they're going to score more than 10 though. Our defense has given up more than 10 with almost everybody this year. So I know the last weekend was the fourth string playing. I seen like three guys come out of the stands to play cornerback on that last drive. So,
yeah.
Caleb's back with the glasses. What are you feeling tonight, Caleb? How you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling great. I'm excited for the blackout with the black helmets. Looks absolutely phenomenal. Super excited about that. I was wondering if you had seen the photo of the locker room that had the black helmet and the all orange helmet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering what game that'll come out for, because if I'm not mistaken, Danny White said that he was going to keep the regular uniforms for like really big games. So I wouldn't think that they'd get pulled out for Georgia. So I'm wondering maybe like Vanderbilt or Missouri. I don't know, but I'm excited.
South Carolina's a road game too. And I think that helmet's going to look clean. Me and Gabe kind of talked about this on Monday as well. I think that orange helmet's going to look clean with the white uniforms. Whether you go white jersey, orange pants, either way, I think it's going to look clean. I love the orange helmet. Trucker Dougie, what's up, buddy? What do you think? Have you seen the orange helmet that Caleb's talking about?
I have not, but I'm gonna be looking that up.
Wait, let me see. Do I still have it? I may still have it. Let me see if I saved. Yeah, there it is. Boom, there it is, right there.
Ooh.
You see the black one on the right that they unveiled today. That orange one on the left.
That's clean. That's hard.
That looks nice. I like it.
A lot of people were saying the South Carolina game, orange helmet, white jersey, orange pants. I don't think it's going to be a home thing. It would only our only option would be Missouri, and that'd probably be the all orange. But I just think it's too. I mean, I don't know.
It's all good. Let's get swagged up and go put a beat down on them, because like Boogie's, I'm sorry, Boogie. Like I said, going back to that video you posted of their head coach and stuff, I'm just like, yeah, you deserve to get your butt whooped. Put on those shades and stuff. Those glasses are just embarrassing. I was like, yeah, you deserve to get your butt whooped.
Man, I can't believe you talk about Caleb.
Maybe
like that.
Caleb will let Josh. I was going to say maybe Caleb should let Heupel borrow his glasses
Phil.
For a post.
We're 1-2. We're 1-2. We
Someone in the
got
chat
fighters
said
in that
that
room.
Caleb's
and,
definitely never seen Tennessee
and
succeed.
Give up.
That's
That's not a part of
100%
this
correct.
football program.
I'm so excited for it.
That was Bush Jones's nephew right there, right?
Dude, he is such a clown, man. Is he not? I mean, is he not Butch Jones made over?
Yeah,
and it's so comical. The South Carolina, I don't know. It's called is it Spurs Up? I think it's called. That dude's in my feed all the time, and tweeted out the thing of him looking at the lights and dancing. He's like, "Our coach is cooler than you." It's like, what is your definition of cool? Like what? Like I would be embarrassed.
You know the picture of him like flexing with the
oh my
score
gosh,
from last
multiple
year?
pictures of it.
He's added 2 more to that reel from this year. Same sort of thing, celebrating on the sidelines and getting ran out of the stadium. So, I mean, I don't know. I just, man,
Like
I
I
hope he
said,
stays there for a while.
Yeah, like I said, just go down there, put a beat down on them, embarrass them. They're right now. They're riding an emotional high right now. They're ranked and stuff. Let's just go in there, beat some reality into them. Be like, nah, you're down here.
I'm gonna be watching that Florida South Carolina game before our game with them. I think it's the game before, if not maybe a couple weeks before. But that might be the only time I root for Florida in a football game, because I just want to see South Carolina get embarrassed. We've already taken care of Florida. Florida's past us. We're past Florida at this. I just want to see South Carolina get embarrassed. And if they can't manage to do it, if they beat Florida and get all hyped up, then it's our turn, baby. We get to to go down there to South Carolina and just embarrass them, man. I can't wait.
Right.
I can't wait for that. I can't wait to watch Shane Beamer just implode on the. I can't wait for him to get the locker room give up question afterwards again. I just can't wait. I just can't wait. That's
and I'll be honest, like me and Boog, we was talking, during the preseason, with Spencer Rattler going down there, we was just like, man, like, I don't know, Spencer Rattler, he's a good quarterback, but then after seeing week after week after week, I'm just like, no, he's trash. He's garbage.
Yeah.
So my confidence is boosted up way.
Mine too, man. I've caught so much flack, and I'll take it. I'll take it, man. I deserve it, but it was a big question mark for me. Let me hit these couple of super chats real quick. Bill Kell for 5. If Tennessee can put a 50-burger on Bama, then I expect more points against Kentucky. That's the type of mindset we need, Bill. Number 1, Sunshine Vol. Used to be number 1, Negavol. Love to change the name. For $2, go to Atlanta to lose, Sugar Bowl, win or lose first-round college football playoff. I think we already just talked. We just talked through all of that with the Georgia game and all of that stuff. Yeah, so we already answered the question. But thank you for the super chat, Sunshine Vol. Kevin Gentry for 5. It's possible to face Bama 2 more times before this is over. I don't think so. If you faced them in the SEC championship and Tennessee lost, they would leave Tennessee hanging out to dry. There's no way they would let Tennessee in. I just don't think so.
I don't think so. Clemson in over Tennessee.
Yeah, it'd be some bull crap. Whereas if Tennessee beat Alabama, Alabama's got 2 losses, they would be out too. I just don't see Tennessee being one of those one loss teams sneaking their way in. Maybe, but not if they played Alabama. I just don't see it. I don't see it. If they lost to Georgia and didn't go to Atlanta, then I see it. I don't see it if they run the table and then go lose to Alabama and Atlanta. That's what I'm trying to say.
There's an interesting thing I want to talk about this. There's a lot of people in the media, especially, that are looking back to last year's game against Kentucky. where it was 45-42. And I've said a couple times that, like, in my mind, that game was not that close. In my mind, like that, it's like we just beat them like every other year. But I mean, looking back, that was a close game. That was a close ball game. Tennessee got started early, but that ended up being a close game. But a lot of people are looking back at that, and they're kind of almost assuming it's going to be similar when this Tennessee team is really kind of evolved, and that Kentucky team is kind of really the same. So I'm not really. I understand the comparisons, but that's been one of my things for talking about a lot of people, that maybe are giving Kentucky a little bit too much credit because they look at last year's game and they say, oh, well, they ran up the score on us last year, blah, blah, blah. But this Tennessee team has evolved. That was a first year. There's 2 years in the system now. I mean, obviously, we've seen them play football this year. I mean, you just look at them. I know their defense, their secondary is not great, putting it kindly. But, this Kentucky team is largely more of the same, if not a little less seasoned than last year. I know they still got Will Levis. They still got Chris Rodriguez. I really like Chris Rodriguez, actually, as a running back. But, they've lost a couple guys. Their offensive line is down. Like, I don't know. I just see I see a lot of people giving Kentucky a lot of credit, and I'm just not sure that is warranted. I know that, any given team on any given day, sure. But when you look at the matchups, when you're evaluating the game before it gets played, that a lot of people are giving Kentucky a little bit too much credit. I know their stats look okay on defense, but I don't know. I think people are giving Kentucky a little bit too much credit.
I mean, I'll go ahead and say this too, because remember, is SEC play. We said the same thing with Florida, right? It's going to be tough. I mean, look, this Kentucky plays us tough. It's every year they play us tough because it's like what we said, the last talking show, is that we are like Florida to them. Like they want to beat us. Like
we're going to get their best shot.
Oh yeah, exactly. So like, no, I'm not giving them, all the full credit, but I just know that Kentucky, Florida, I even throw Vanderbilt in there because it's like those teams come to play us hard every single year because they know the rivalry and they know the history of us and stuff. So, but like you said though, Gabe, like I said, I believe that we are a better team this year. I mean, and obviously from our offensive power, we've gotten a lot better. So I don't know, man. Like I said, I've always said this game was going to be a toss up, but I just know that Kentucky is that they're going to try to come play.
Yeah, it's about whose style of ball gets going first. Whose style, because man, that is what I'm looking forward to in this game a lot. Is because we know other teams can't play hypo ball. Other teams lose when they try to play hypo ball. Mm-hmm. But Kentucky, they're going to play their game. They literally don't have the tools or pieces or personnel to play hypo ball.
Yeah.
So they're going to play their game, which is slow, physical, kind of in the mud, in the trenches. So if we get going fast, I don't know. It's an interesting matchup. It's going to be interesting to see sort of. I mean, Kentucky again, not that great of a team. They're a good football team, but I don't necessarily want to say the unstoppable force against the immovable object, but that's sort of that idea, right? It's like the speed versus the more slow, powerful, methodical, whatever. But I don't know. It's going to be. What do you think, Trucker Dougie? What do you think about the matchups? How do you think Tennessee matches up with Kentucky this year?
I mean, the last few years, it's always been like a close game. Like that's one of those games that I know everybody's looking forward to the Georgia game, and I get that. That's the biggest game that we have left.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we got to be cautious because the last time we looked too far ahead, we lose focus. That's just like I actually got to go to the game last week or this past weekend, and I know we beat them. I mean, we blew the doors off of them, but penalty yards, we gave up way too many penalties in that game because we were too focused ahead. We weren't focused enough on this game that we had at hand. And I think if we give up that kind of penalty yards to Kentucky, they're going to walk right over us. Mm-hmm. We just cannot give them that many yards. And plus, we also gave up over 300 yards total offense against UT Martin. I mean, that should have never happened.
Well, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
go ahead. And I was getting ready to say too. I mean, you got to ask the question: is this game the real true trap game? You know,
Right,
because I mean
exactly.
that we're trending so successfully that it's like, okay, yeah, we're talking about, you know, college football playoffs, we're talking about SEC championships and Georgia. But keep in mind, we got to take care of Kentucky. So the way I see it is that this might be the true trap game.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, a couple points off of that is, you know, like we've said that a couple times. You know, we knew we weren't going to lose to UT Martin, but we kind of thought that, you know, it could be closer than it should be if they come out and they play sloppy. And, you know, the first defensive drive wasn't great, and then after William Wright got that interception, it was you know what it was gone from there. And then, you know, late in the game, of course, against our third team guys, you know, UT Martin put up some points. But another good point brought up by Jeff here that Boogie highlighted the message talking about that Kentucky possessed the ball for like 44 minutes last year. This is a much more balanced Tennessee team. This isn't a Tennessee team where they have to score in the first 3 plays or they're not going to be able to drive down the field. We can drive down the field now. We can take up some time on the clock. I mean, yeah, we can score really quickly, but if we have to, I mean, Lord, was it the LSU game? We had a 9-minute, 4-minute offense drive. Like, you know, that like
late in the game when it counted too, when you needed to seal the game.
Exactly. So this is a much more balanced Tennessee team. This is not last year's Tennessee team where you have to strike fast, or like we kind of saw that in the Georgia game last year. We couldn't do crap on offense because we just couldn't get those those quick strikes. And we weren't able to drive down the field and finish and score points.
If Kentucky comes out and tries to run the football and chew the clock, Tennessee's going to boat race them. It's not even going to be close. You're not going to run the football against this Tennessee defense. You're not going to do it. You're going to have to try to play our game. And I don't think Kentucky can do that. Let me hit these couple of super chats real quick. Brent Bridges for 10. Thank you for super chat. Anyone who hasn't checked out the Coach Pope's interview today, we have a dang good wide receiver coach on our hand.
That was
know, I felt confident about that when he said when Josh Heupel hired him. It's kind of like, okay, well, the resume speaks for itself because he was on this staff before he was upgraded. So it's kind of like, you know, your resume speaks for itself. Josh Heupel's been around him, so that gave me some confidence. Ron the Don for 5. The score will be Tennessee 52, Kentucky 11. I like what he did there. I see what you did there with the Kentucky 11. They will score 3 field goals and a safety because the colored guard drops the ball in the end zone. Thank you, Ron the Don. I see what you're doing.
Isn't it kind of funny? One thing on Coach Pope. Did you see what he issued the challenge to the wide receiver room before the season?
Yeah.
Challenged every one of them to catch 10,000 balls, and said that Jalen Hyatt has actually exceeded that already.
13 or 14,000, he said.
Yeah. So, but the funny thing I was going to point out is how the 2 people to my left here have actually walked back all the way around to, you all are scared about Kentucky. It doesn't matter. We're looking forward to Georgia. Now it's a trap game.
No. Trap game? Hey, I didn't say it was a trap game. I never said that. Xavier said that.
I joined this chat, and all I hear is some battered ball syndrome up in here. This ain't a trap game. Because if LSU was the trap game, oh no, we went out and just absolutely rocked their world. Akron was a trap game. No, we took care of business. This is gonna be just like every other game. We're gonna take care of business. We're gonna get it done. We're not gonna let them play 1930s ball control, boring football.
Right.
This is gonna be.
Listen, I never said we was gonna lose. I never said that. I said we was gonna handle business.
Kentucky is and has been all season the most overrated team in the SEC.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I just can't imagine a scenario kind of like Gary was alluding to, that we play that style of football throughout even a half of that game, maybe maybe half a quarter. Shoot, maybe they have an 8-minute drive, but I just can't imagine a scenario where we don't dictate the tempo of that football game. I just can't fathom it.
We're
I don't know.
athletically superior in almost every facet of the game. Coaching wise, we're superior. Heupel and the gang can clearly outcoach anybody. If he can outcoach Nick Saban, he can outcoach anybody. Kentucky beat Florida. I know everyone's like, oh, well, Kentucky, they beat Florida and Florida kept it close. That was a 17-point ball game, Tennessee and Florida, with 7 minutes left before Kentucky or Florida put together that heroic effort at the end.
Yeah,
But
Florida also played a different game that day than they did.
yeah, Florida played so scared. And listen, that's something I want to touch on too. Is if you listen to Mark Stoops, his press conference from yesterday, that man is terrified of Tennessee. He just is. You listen to him; he keeps talking about how we're the number 3 team in the country, how we're this so good, blah blah blah. I feel like as a coach, that should kind of be like number 1 things you don't do is keep talking about how you're playing the number 3 team in the country, right? Because that's Josh Heupel. He comes out before the Alabama game. He says they're a good team, blah blah blah. This is what we got to do. He comes out before the UT Martin game and says they're a good team. This is what we got to do, blah blah blah. Like literally, it's like a script that you can almost predict every week. Because that's his mindset. He's focused. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. Mark Stoops clearly does not think that way, and maybe that's why we've put the beating on his teams every year. But I don't know. It's like he was clearly very scared. So I expect a Florida-esque effort from Kentucky. Like we're talking about going for it on 4th downs, every 4th down, and blah blah blah, and all this stuff to really try and keep. Because I don't think they have the pieces to match with Tennessee. They just don't. They just can't do it. And they're going to need that sort of heroic effort to even stand a chance, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Gabe, I think if it's 3rd and 4 versus 3rd and 7, is it 4th and 2 versus 4th and 5 are going to dictate that score you're hoping for?
Will Levis has been sacked 20 times this season.
26 times.
Well, that's all of them together. Will Levis himself has been sacked 20 times.
Oh, okay. No, you're Kentucky as a team. Their backup got sacked 6 times.
Yes,
gotcha.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Everybody praises the Kentucky defense too, though. But something you were talking about earlier was time of possession, right? That's Kentucky's game, is to eat up the clock. And stats, as much as they kind of tell the story, they also can be full of crap. Like, yeah, Kentucky's defense is better because they're not on the field as much, because Kentucky runs the football and eats up the clock. On the flip side of that, Tennessee's defensive stats look way worse than probably what the reality is, because they're going fast and they're scoring in 90 seconds. So that you can manipulate numbers to tell a story.
And teams are playing from behind, having to throw the ball. So that's one reason the secondary numbers look a little bit worse than they probably actually are.
Which we know they suck. We know the secondary sucks, but the numbers are elevated because of it. Yeah, yes.
And for all of the praise that Kentucky has for Chris Rodriguez and blah, 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 as a team, they have 794 rushing yards for the season. We have 1,420.
Yeah. That's the thing that's underrated about Tennessee. Tennessee, I know Kentucky statistically has a pretty good run game, but Tennessee has been able to put up run numbers on everybody. Y'all, we didn't just take the top off of Alabama's defense. We ran for more yards. We outrushed Alabama. We ran for 180 something yards on Alabama. We can put some numbers on this. Because when you think of Tennessee, you think of the big passes. You think of the explosive plays. But what you don't think about is the 4-yard runs, the 5-yard runs, the 7 or 12-yard runs that we've been breaking off consistently every single game to put us in the position to make those plays. The coaching staff has said time and time again that this offense starts with the run game, and everyone just seems to ignore that. Because you're right, because Coach Day said earlier, Kentucky is going to play a lot they are going to try and keep the explosive plays at bay. they're going to play the five guys back in zone, don't let them run past you type of defense. And that is how you know Tennessee's going to be able to run all over them, and they're going to have to respect that at some point.
Yep. And as soon as they try that, we have Jabari Small, Jalen Wright, and Hendon Hooker that can bust off a 40, 60-yard run at any minute.
That's the thing, too, is Hendon Hooker hasn't even had to run most of the season. He hasn't even – I mean, he's had to escape the pocket. He hasn't had to have designed quarterback run plays in order to aid our running game so far this season. He just hasn't. Our running backs have been doing enough, and that has to say something about this team. So,
and then on the flip side, like Will Levis, #1 draft ever, best quarterback ever.
Yeah, right.
He's not Bryce Young. He's not going to be able to Harry Houdini himself away from our defensive line over and over and over.
Absolutely not.
Mm-mm.
Absolutely not. He doesn't have that
athleticism. Last year, they beat us on the line of scrimmage, and that's why they were able to keep it close all game. That's why they were able to have 45-plus minutes of time of possession. It's not going to be the same this year.
Nope. Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing, right? They're gonna want to throw the ball. Kentucky is, because they can't beat us on the ground. That it was me who said yesterday morning that Kentucky's going to try and throw the ball probably 50 times in this game.
Probably.
If you put Will Levis on the ground, he can't. If you get pressure on him, he cannot run away like Bryce Young can. Will Levis, he's an athlete, but he cannot Houdini like Gary said. He cannot Houdini his way out of getting sacked or put on the ground a few times. So I just think, and we know our defensive line is it's dominant. It is.
Yeah.
That is how this defensive line needs to be described. It is dominant. The sack numbers aren't off the charts. The pressure numbers are. We make the quarterback get the ball out of their hands. We make the quarterback flush out. We have a dominant defensive line, and especially against a subpar Kentucky line, it is going to be a really rough day for Will Levis.
If we can force Bama into a bad running day, we can certainly force Kentucky into a bad running day.
I think
it's that simple. I really do think it's that simple. I just don't think they're going to be able to move that ball like that through the ground. But with that, guys, I got a jam. I got a pretty girl waiting to eat dinner with me.
There it is.
So,
wait a minute. You don't want to eat. You don't want to eat dinner with Dauber?
I mean,
there it is.
I love Dauber and all, but she's a little prettier than you, Dauber. Sorry about that.
Hey, no worries, man.
It's always a pleasure, Coach Jay. Appreciate you coming on, buddy. Always enjoy hearing your feedback.
Absolutely. Oh, and final score before I go, 44-17.
That's more than 10. That's more than 10.
That's more than 10. Not very much. Not
Not
very much.
very
But, hey, it's okay. That's
backdoor
still
cover against Gabe. Backdoor cover against Gabe. They get
There
that
you go.
last touchdown late in the game.
Love it, buddy. Thanks for coming on. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Go enjoy your dinner, man.
You got it. Thank you guys.
Hey, Wayne, do you want to know how many passing attempts Kentucky had last year against Tennessee? 50.
What do we do? Let me hit some super chats, Gabe. You're attacking the chat.
Hey, listen. No, I'm not attacking him. I'm not attacking him. I'm correcting him. We're all family here. We want to talk football. I'm just saying.
We are about to wrap up the fan call-in show. So if you guys want to go ahead and drop, I'm going to read a couple of super chats, do a couple of plugs, and we're going to wrap this thing up. Appreciate you guys coming on. We will be live tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Myself, Dauber, JP, going to be a great show. Ben McKee from Go Balls 247 will be here as well. And then Thursday morning, myself and the kid over there, the kid over that way, me and Gabe will be going live Thursday morning at 9 a.m., so make sure you come check that out. Call for 5. The players love playing this style of football. The success is addicting. They look forward to each game. This won't be a trap game. You know, I said that to Eric Kane Monday morning when he came on the show. I said, at what point, you know, it's kind of like the culture thing, right? At what point do we stop talking about culture with Josh Heupel? And now it's like, at what point do we stop talking about being prepared? This team's going to be prepared no matter who they play, no matter when they play them. That is a Josh Heupel coached football team. Jeff for 5, thank you for the super chat. I completely agree guys with what you're saying. I just brought up the possession time last year because that's why the game was close. And I think that's what Kentucky wants to do too, right? That's what they're going to want to do in this game. But I just don't see them having success with it. I do not see them having success trying to just manage the clock, control the game. If they want to run the football, good luck. Let me know how that works out for you. But look, we're almost 2 hours into this thing. I love the fan call-in shows. Always a blast. Always so much fun to have you guys on. But we do got to wrap this thing up and crash because I'm tired, and that's it. But appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you to all the members of the channel. You guys, man, you support this channel. I think I saw $12,000, Dauber. $12,000 coming our way if Tennessee wins the national championship. Make sure you got the screen captures. I think they hold up in the court of law. So $12,000 if Tennessee wins the national championship. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. Been a great night. For Dauber, for Gabriel, for the X Factor, my name is Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go big. I got to find the outro. Orange.
That we call home.